Hey, what up, guys? The footage you're about to watch is me spending a day and a half with others, teaching them how to make multiple seven figures a year, building an insurance agency, everything that I've done in the last decade. Plus, you get to watch in the following clip. Enjoy it. Make sure you make the next one. JohnWetmore.com/workshop. I explain a lot. Man, this thing for me was, how can I make what I do just an everyday part of life? Every time I'm trying to accomplish something new, like how do I implement something and just make that what I do? You know, and when it comes to the sales side or building side, this is going to be, y'all can handle this either way. I'm going to kind of overlap the both. It says identify 3 objections, which if you're getting in the house objections, you're dealing with building, like the sticking points. Like what are the things that you get stuck on consistently? There's probably not that many. You know, so I try to identify the top few. When I was in the sales space, I was like, what objections was I getting? And I started looking at, like, I get these most of the time. And I get these over here sometimes. I'm a big fan of going, what, y'all know like the bell curve, right? I don't know the exact percentages, but that chunk in the middle is like what most people fall into in any X situation. I'm like, let me get good at that. And I don't care about the rest. I'll deal with it maybe, but I don't stress over that. So like for my specific example, the way I was selling, I would get a lot of objections. I struggled selling, give me someone that was like older, that had a big mortgage, 65, 70 years old, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 mortgage. Maybe they're sick, maybe they're not. I struggled there. Give me someone 22 years old, just got their first house. That for me? Thank you. I'll take that one. Yeah, thank you. I'll eat that when I break. No vodka. Oh, that's fucking good. You know, someone that like 22 years old, they'd go into the house. Someone your age, I'd walk in and like they're like putting out the weed right before I get in, and there's Budweiser's on it. I struggled in that sale. They got to ask mom permission, like with their bank. Like I struggled there. You know, final expense, I struggled a lot in general. Like I would get like, I thought this was free. I didn't know what it was. I would get that a lot. Trying to think if there's any other scenarios that those are the most popular ones that I would like. Damn, I'm not good there. You know, give me someone like I got good at like someone in there. They both got a job. They got the 2.5 kids and the white fence, selling a 25-year cash back. I was really good at that piece. I'm like, I figured that out first. But the others, I'm like, how do I figure out those? So I took those scenarios and I'm like, all right, let me dive into those now. All right, now when I get there, why 173 do I get like, man, that's not enough coverage for the money, right? I'd be like, you're sick. I can't get that for you, but we got this product over here. The most they can give you is 40 grand. Your health says you're only eligible for this. But what we can do is make it structured and it's, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months of payments, yada, yada. And they'd be like, that ain't enough insurance for the money. That was always the objection. Or they'd go, I want either all or nothing. I'd get that all the time. I'm like, why am I getting that? It's because the words I was saying. That makes sense? I wasn't taking them down the right road. I wasn't setting it up like he did the cake thing. There's the cake equivalent of that stuff too. So I started learning how to present it in the right way. And all I ever do is go, where do I lose people? Like if you're watching the people you're communicating with, I do it here. Some people are on their phones, some people are paying attention. Some people are taking notes, some people leave. I pay attention to stuff and I try to get better at each piece. But in that case, when I'm delivering stuff, as I'm doing my presentation, I'm like, where did I lose them? And sometimes we pretend we don't see it. You know what I mean? Like, you ever shown someone pricing, and I'm talking field sales guys. I don't know how on Zoom if it's quite exactly, but I'm gonna give some my experiences. I remember showing some pricing, and they start tapping their foot like you're tapping your foot, right? They get you see them like get a little nervous or swallow hard. I'm like, y'all don't pay attention to that stuff? Do you do anything about it though? Most people don't pay attention to it. Then the next level is they pay attention to it and they keep talking. Me, I'm like, yo, you all right, bro? You're about to put a hole in the floor. Did the prices mess you up that much? Now they loosen up. Does that make sense? I'd be like, yo, that vein always there when he's stressed out? I started doing it like engage, like why am I gonna not address this situation? And I tried to do it in a like humorous way. I wasn't afraid to like call people out about it. Because I'm like, yo, I want to deal with it. Why not deal with it? You know? And that changed the game for me. And I'm like, all right, ooh, that's where I lose them. Got it. How do I tweak, this is stuff I'm working on with you. How do I tweak the word here? Where you send the thing and you want to go like all these things, here's 27 bullet points I did wrong, right? What did I say here? What did I say there? What did I say there? What da. I'm like, you know, if you did one thing here, you would have never got the rest of the shit. You would have never went down that road. You know what I mean? I'm like, can I teach how to overcome all those? Yeah, but it sounds dumb to me. I'm like, how about I just teach you to not get them more often than you do? I don't know how to solve it 100% of the time. But I can go, if we do it this way 10 times, it works 6. I'm in. I don't need to go like, let me try this way, then next time this way, then this time. I'm like, no, I'm this way. So for me, I had a rule, dude. 60 plus, here's my presentation. I didn't like hover whole life term. Let me see if they're healthy enough and I can sneak one in. I'm like, fine time. That's my presentation. You had to arm wrestle me to get anything else. You had to fight for it. Every presentation was the same. 22, every presentation was the same. That demographic. Now I get to judge what demographic bucket I think they fall into. Does that make sense? If I think they're just young and barely know anything, dude, my presentation was like 4 minutes long. I don't do any of the why. I don't care what happens if you die. He doesn't care. No one, it doesn't matter. His parents are going to be sad. But he's not thinking about it. That's not going to get him to move. What's going to get him to move is me getting out of his house and him getting back to his weed. Fair? If I can make it good for him, I can get paid. He's smart enough to have bought a house, so I give him props. Does that make sense? What I learned is none of them know how it works. So that became my opening. Hey, dude, you know how this thing works? Nope. Perfect. Now I get to make the rules. Here's how it works. You live, you get your money back. You die, your family gets the money. That was my presentation. Here's how it works. You can pay them, you can donate for 30 years, or you can do this one, and when you're 58 or whatever the age was, you get $37,000 back. Which one do you want? He'd be like, that one. Okay. Paper apps, in and out of his house, under 15 minutes. No presentation whatsoever. I have videos up. It's one of the most popular videos I have out.
One of my faves.
Yeah.
Like a 90% closing ratio.
Bro.
Close, I'll stop in 3 minutes.
100%, dude.
What age bracket is that?
If I feel like you're young and relatively immature, I had a different presentation. Did it work 100% of the time? No. But if it missed, how long am I in the house, Andrew? 3 minutes, bro, I'm gone.
It's on YouTube. I watched it 1,000 times.
Gone, dude.
Every time I went to 20.
Final expense. My opening, guess you need some insurance, huh? Why wouldn't I? Because every other time when I started with all the reasons why they'd be like, this is insurance? I didn't know it was insurance. I thought it was the government was giving me. Nah. They need insurance. Guess you need some insurance. They say no to me. It's weird. They go no, which happened this percentage of the time. I look at a phone. I go, damn, I'm in the wrong house. Is this you? No, it's me. It says insurance right on it. Look. That was my in-home. That was the present. Because again, they go, yeah, I need some. I think I just sold it. Guess you need some insurance. Yes. Done. I don't have to get deeper. Dude, I'm not kidding. And some people are like, that can't work. Try it. I was the #1 final expense producer at FFL. And damn trophies upstairs. Go look at it. I got shitloads of trophies up there. No final expense appointments. All buying time. Senior mortgage protection leads. That was all I sold. #1 final expense producer in FFL. That year, I didn't sell final expense leads. You know what I mean? I'm like, it was the product. It was this final expense product. So I got the award.
When they couldn't qualify for what they wanted, you pivoted and boom. That's how you got the award.
See, that's where you're missing.
Never give them the option.
Not qualify for what they wanted. What do they want? No, what do they want? You're getting closer. What do they really want? They don't give a shit about their mortgage. They don't want to be a burden to their kids. Period. That's what they want. That's what they want. They don't want to be a burden to their kids. So I can structure the conversation and the story in a way that I assume, Josh, when you die, your kids got their own place. They're just going to want to sell this thing and get out, right? What is that setting them up for? Do you need 30 years of coverage if they're just going to sell the thing and get out? Really good question. Verse, so Josh, tell me why you filled this form out. Fair?
Yeah.
They don't want to be a burden. Does that make sense? So I'm like, hey Josh, I assume you feel like most people that I sit with, I do this every day. Your main concern is you don't want to be a burden to your kids. Is that fair? They're going to say yes 99% of the time. Quality of question. I learned that question gets yes way more often than, why'd you fill this out?
Right.
Does that make sense? Getting agents started, same thing. Hey, KG, are you the type of person that wants to get started quick or go slow? You want to go fast or go slow?
I want to go fast.
Everyone says go fast. So now what can I do? I can push them. Correct.
And I'm in
But
wrong 3 minutes.
I'm out. 100%, dude. It's the quality of questions that's changed everything for me. And so when I sit down and I look at all my problems, I go, what questions can I ask to get to the root faster? Dude, you don't know. You ask why someone filled it out. You telling me you don't know why they filled it out? Everything that someone fills out, it says what it is on it. That's why they filled it out. Right? Can I go deeper level? Yes. Burden. Ask a grandma, hey, I assume you don't want to be a burden on your family? Every once in a while you get the jokester. I don't give a shit, put them in the backyard. You know what I mean? It's some nonsense. But for the overwhelming majority, they just don't want, seniors just don't want to be the burden. You know what I mean? So I'm like, let me attack that way. Guess you need some insurance, huh? I mean, what else am I there for? You know? You get like, I was just curious. Y'all ever get that?
Yeah.
Just curious. My response? I'm like, yo, KJ, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
And I don't want you to be upset or throw me out the door at all. But are you telling me that you were so bored one day that you just were shit curious on the pricing of life insurance, but you had no interest in actually getting any?
Guess that sounds pretty crazy, huh?
It sounds pretty crazy to me too.
I guess I need to do better.
So can I ask, instead of like the fluff, can we just talk about what you're really trying to solve here? Because I don't believe that piece. And then if they didn't go right, sometimes I mess with them a little further and go, what else are you curious for pricing on? And I'd mess with them, I go, you want pricing on like a helicopter or something too? I can Google it. And they'd be like, what?
I do want to make sure it fits in my budget, though.
Amen. Why would you not? It'd be weird if it didn't.
Right.
Insurance ain't no good if you can't pay for it, right?
Yeah.
This is how I communicate with clients.
That's good.
It's how I communicate with any of y'all I talk to. I'm not letting you go down this road of complication and overthinking. I'll stop someone in the tracks and be like, yo, it's a skill set that was acquired with time. I didn't learn this in one day. I had to like practice it and practice it and practice it and practice it. You know, the discipline of it. I work on this stuff. I do voice notes in my phone. Y'all got that voice thing?
Yep.
So any of y'all use it? Like to tell yourself stuff? I have machine smoothies, junkyard stories, treadmill analogy, breaking neck in traffic analogy, riding a bike annuity analogy, marketing idea for broke agents. There's all kinds of shit. I have like hundreds of voice notes in here. When I'm thinking of something, when we're done with this, I will analyze it and go, that guy didn't catch it, this one missed, that one hit, and I'll sit back and I'll think of things. And I think of stories on the way to deliver things. And then when I'm thinking, I put them in there so I don't forget them. You ever think of something, like 4 minutes later you forgot it? I hate that. Sometimes I'm like, oh, that's a fucking good one. I don't know where I'm gonna use it, but I'm gonna use it. And so I put it in there, and then when I'm driving around, not listening to your stuff, I listen to my stuff, talk to myself, and I'm like, ooh, where can I put that in? And I find ways to put stories and deliveries. Because I learned that analogy is a really powerful way to pass a message. I had a hard time communicating with people being direct. I learned if I tell a story about me or someone else, I can be really direct and it doesn't offend you the same. So then I had to get really good at telling stories. Does that make sense? When I talked to you last week, the thing about, hey, dude, don't you do something at the car dealer with paint? You think I didn't know that? I knew the fucking answer. I wanted you to go, yeah. And I go, hey, who does it? I was setting you up for you to tell me about the process so I could go, hey, fair to say if I came in there and painted, you would know immediately if I had done this before or not. And you told me all the problems about hiring people and they leave you and da-da-da. That was all intentional. Before I called you, I knew I was going to do that. Why? I needed to get you to track with me, dude. And I wanted you to understand this is just like that. If you can get people to understand this is like that, it's a game changer. 100%. You know, and I had to study this stuff. I don't read well. Y'all read the book. I don't write that well. Like I can tell a story. I can make things seem simple and I can make this seem like that. And that's a big, powerful part of this thing. You know, so for me, the intentionality of it in the sales side works. And we can go through some certain scenarios if you want to, but for me, this process I do now. Identify things, how do I get better at them? How do I work on them? And then I work on them. And then I watch. Ooh, that one did not land well. Ooh, that one went pretty good. I'll use that one again. But I've been doing this for now 10 plus years. I remember a dude used to do it to me. It's how I learned it from someone doing it to me. It always set me up. And I'm like, usually you don't see it coming right away, but as you get to talk to me more, you be like, motherfucker, I see it coming. I don't know where he's going, but I see it coming. Correct. And so this dude would do it to me, and I'd see it come like, oh God, he'd be like, hey, can I ask you a question? And I knew that meant, buckle up. I'm like, yup, go ahead. And he would do it, and he'd tell a story about this guy and that guy and this, and I'm like, my bad. I didn't see that. I got you. And I'd go, can I ask you a question now? He's like, yeah. I go, bro, how do you come up with all the analogies? And he says, they're everywhere, bro. You just got to pay attention. He's like, I got to go. And hung up. I was like, that did not answer my question at all. I wanted to know what book he bought that gave him all the analogies. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, but then I just start paying attention to people. You know, and it's like there are stories in everyday life that you can go like, this is like that. You know what I mean? The one I was talking about in breaking your neck. I'm the type of person, you ever sit in traffic somewhere, like you're on a side road somewhere and you're at a red light and you can turn right and the traffic's coming this way, right? But you're the second car. You're not the first car, you're the second car. And that guy's got to turn right and you're watching traffic and then maybe you're watching him, maybe you're watching traffic. Like, which one are y'all like this the whole time? Or are you this guy? You the back and forth or you like this? You know what I do? I'm like, that hurts my neck after a little while. Turning left to watch the whole time, and then you see the gap, and you're like, any of you ever hit the gas, and then you look up, and you're like, that fucker didn't move, and you're gonna hit the brake, and you're like, you ever done that?
Yeah.
Over year, and then you're mad at him. You ever cuss at the guy in front of you, like, there's so much room a truck could get through, and you're yelling at the, right? That was me. In fact, I was doing it I did it yesterday by mistake on the phone with Amanda, and she's like, you're going the wrong way, jackass. If you didn't go that way, you wouldn't have ended up there. But when you're looking right, you ever stare so long you get a little sore over there. And then I've almost hit people a couple times. I'm like, why do I look that way? So me now today, I sit here back, chill, and I just watch the car in front of me. I don't have a clue what's coming. I don't look at all because it don't matter. I can't go nowhere till that fool moves. So I sit here and I wait. And every time I do it, I'm like, I used to cuss at this guy. This used to frustrate the hell out of me. Boy, we've been sitting here for a long time. And I just kind of wait till he moves. And then I look. I ain't trying to match it and like speed out with, that's stressful to me. You know? And I like that feeling of like, why am I bringing on that added stress? I did that. He didn't do that. If I wasn't looking, I wouldn't have known there was a gap. And so I like to just live my life that way. I'm like, why overcomplicate it? Why bring things into play that don't need to be brought into play? Why, like, I got cars that go fast. I'm like, dude, I'm going to drive like a grandpa now. Because when I would put myself in a situation where I want to go, I'm like, I would get so irritated, you know? And in certain sales situations, I would get irritated. And I blame other people. And hiring and building and scaling stuff, I'd get really irritated. And so I'm like, how do I control this situation so I take away the problem I'm adding to it, you know? And this little exercise helps me do that. I've just done it hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. And I see so many people that keep doing the same thing over and over again and keep getting frustrated by it. So anything you're frustrated by, I like to go like, where are you causing the issue? Even if you're right, even if the jackass could have gone, how could I have controlled the situation? How could I have bettered it? What could I do differently to not get there? You know what I mean? And all those sales scenarios I talk to and everything I talk, and I'm going to talk a lot about building and scaling tomorrow, but all those I go, how could I adjust so I don't get in a situation I don't like? You know, and that was always the reason why I started tweaking the way I say things, you know, and certainly I'd ask a lot of questions and I would seek guidance from people that were doing it and take sales tips and go like, ooh, let me try this, but let me make it mine. You know what I mean? Let me just be me. And when I started being me, intentionally me, this thing took off.
And you enjoyed it more.
Oh, bro. Do you know how satisfying it is to fuck with someone with sarcasm and intentionality and be able to control the outcome? Maybe I'm nuts. Dude, I get off on it. Like to take someone that's pissed and get them to come around, or to take someone that's like thinking wrong and get them to slowly discover like, oh shit, I was looking at that the wrong way. That's my happy spot, dude. I find it like a superpower. I find it intriguing. I like that I can control it. I felt out of control in sales. I felt like I was just, if I showed enough pricing, maybe I'd sell some. You know what I mean? You show pricing, you ever sit there like, please pick one, please pick one, please pick one, please pick. I don't like that. I like, guess you need some insurance, huh? Yep, sold. I guess we gotta do the paperwork now. You know what I mean? And did it get deeper? Sure. Hey, do you have any now or do you have none? Those are the only two options. I got to answer for both. I got none. Oh, dang. Why? Is it because you've been procrastinating or are you too sick to get any? Either answer, I'm in. Been procrastinating. Dope. Finally ready to stop doing that, huh? You think they're going to go, I'm too sick to get any? Rare. Sometimes. Yeah, had cancer, got this, tried to get some. Yeah. Most, I'm healthy as a horse. Look at, here's my medication list. I got A, B, C. I can get some insurance now. Now settle down. I got you. Dude, this was at the front door walking to their table. This is happening like through the screen. Like I'm not even presentation mode. This is me chopping it up. You know? They're like, yeah, I got some. Cool, I guess you figured out it ain't enough, huh? Really good fucking question. What's the other option? If they already got some and I'm there, they must have figured out it ain't enough. Seems like a good question to ask to get them tracking with me. Yep. Hey, did something happen? Someone die? What happened? Stories for days. Now, tell me why you filled this form out. Something happened? Who died? Crazy stories. Now they're selling me. You know what I mean? Yeah, this, that, the other. I got it. How much you got now? 10? Got it. Something happened? Yes, no, indifferent, whatever. Maybe no. Cool. Go, all right, got it. How much you think you need? I don't care her answer. 20. So you want double. Got it. Why double? What made you realize 10 ain't enough? It's just intentional question. That's it. You know what I mean? They tell me a story, they go, no. And I go, how long you had that one? 5 years. Got it. Well, I assume if you want double, you know it's going to be at least what you're paying now, but you got it 5 years ago, so it's going to be more than you're paying now. For the 10 you got now is $50. You know you ain't getting it for 50 now, right? Why? How many times I got to the end? They're like, $83 now? I got it for 50 5 years ago. I ain't dealing with that shit. Nah, you ain't tricking me. I don't believe that they're shocked.
Nah. Right. They just want an excuse to get off the phone.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I ain't gonna fall down that trap. Why? I fell down that trap too many times. I'm like, why do they keep saying this? You're telling me after 5 years they think it's the same price? You believe that? Stop. They buy milk every week, and it ain't the same price as 5 years ago. I'm just not going to be suckered.
You know, one of the great things about the way you do it is that the questions, the questions are, you know, they're not scripted, but they are scripted. But what it allows you to do is it allows you to flow right afterwards.
Correct.
So like you may say, oh, so you expect it to be the same price. You buy milk every week and it's not the same. Like that's not necessarily scripted, but it allows you to flow.
It's planned though.
It's planned. And that's the part that I think.
And it's saying what I really want to say. I really want to can we just cut, like I'm by default an oblivious person. We're hiking, who laughed? Someone was like, I agree. I was like, damn, I am really oblivious to a lot of stuff. We're hiking yesterday. Me, Brandon, and Andy hiking on Kennesaw Mountain. We're going up. We're hiking, all good. We're like, I don't know, 3.5 miles in, something like that. This helicopter flying over. I'm like, huh. And I'm like, hey, you see that bucket? It's flying through the bucket hanging. Like the helicopter had a bucket. I'm like, what the hell? A few minutes later, another one goes by. Huh. We start going. That would have been a really good fucking thought. I go, I don't know what the hell those things are doing. I ain't never seen them out here. We keep hiking. We're like 85, 90% of the way. We go over the mountain and then we're going to go back over. So we're going to go over the whole thing twice. It's like 7 miles total. We get 3.25 miles in, so we got like quarter mile, half mile left. And a fire dude comes up. He's like, I hate to be an ass, but I got to turn you guys around. And I was like, why? He's like, there's a fire. And Brandon goes, did you not see the smoke right there, bro? There was smoke coming through the woods that we just hiked, like you could see it on the thing. I'm like, actually, now that you say it, I remember seeing the smoke. But I did not once connect the smoke to the fireman. Until right now, bro. Then we're hiking back over. And we passed it again. I didn't notice again. And he's like, there's the smoke. I was like, what's funny is I smell it. And I didn't see it still. You know what I mean? So I can miss stuff. But I'm like, in the spot that I'm trying to be really good, I'm trying to be like really intentional. Especially in a situation where it helps me grow financially or grow my business. You know, and I think far too many people try to get intentional or pay attention to details and to what I think don't matter. I don't think a lot of things matter. I don't know the weather, ever. I have no idea what's coming. Ever, any day of the week, ever. I don't know if it's gonna be hot, I don't know if it's gonna be cold, I don't know if it's gonna snow, I don't know if it's gonna rain. I don't know ever, and I don't care. I travel somewhere, I don't look what the weather's gonna be when I get there. I don't care at all. I just will I'll figure it out. Go ahead, bro.
How did you figure out how to do that without coming off as rude?
I did come off as rude first. Ask Andrew. He'd probably tell you some stories, dude. I don't know, but we used to talk a long time ago, and I bet he probably has a story or two where he's like, hell, dude came up, where's he at? Dude in the red hat came up to me. What'd you say when I got here? When we first talked, you said something like, I called you, I did something to you.
He cussed me out.
Yeah.
In front of my whole team.
I was like, did you take it well? Yeah. I was like, cool, thank God, good job, bro. Does it make sense? Like, I have messed up, dude. Jessie's in here. Ask her, she'll tell you a story. I was an ass to her one day. I didn't want to be, but I was. You know what I mean? And so I'm not trying to harm anybody. I'm really not. I want people to win. But you see the M in the do more? I ain't afraid to make them, bro. I am not afraid to make mistakes. There's so much value in a mistake that I get everything I can. If I'm going to make it, I'm going to get something out of it. You know, and I think so many people are unwilling to mess up. Dude, I don't give a rip. Like, at all. I'm not... Now, Do I want to keep making the same mistake over and over again? No, that'd be really stupid. So I have a limit. Like, I care that I don't keep doing it, but I'm not afraid to mess up. I just don't care. And I've learned, dude, nobody else really does either. Nobody cares about you guys as deep as you care about yourselves and your family. No one does. That's facts. You know, so I've learned to just not let the noise, and noise to me defines a lot. Because whatever ain't simple and help me get to the next spot, to me is noise. And I just learned how to just do my best to let it go. And early on, dude, I can tell you stories about getting kicked out of houses, bro. I got plenty of them. Dude, when I first started trying to do this stuff, you ever get that guy? And again, I'm in home stuff, so I did a lot of face-to-face stuff. You walk in a house and the guy's like, right off the rip, opens the door, pissed. What do? I'd be like, you try it, right? So I used to try to address it. Now, I've had enough people open doors where I know if they weren't expecting me or not. I see it in their eyes. They look at you funny when they like, who the hell are you, kind of, but they open it up. So I started going, she didn't tell you I was coming, did she? And we started joking about wives. Like, I knew how to overcome that right away. I remember one time I walk into this house. This guy goes, man, can you just give me the pricing? I'm like, damn, bro, you seem pissed. I just got here. And he didn't like the way I said it. And I popped back off to him. He was like, you fixing to get the fuck out of this house. Like, he came big dude too. You know what I mean? I addressed it the wrong way too soon. I didn't ease into it. I didn't laugh. I learned you can say about anything to anybody. If you laugh after, there's so much grace. You know what I mean? So sometimes I'll be really direct and I laugh about it. It's like babies. When they bump into something, fall over, they look at you. If you're freaking out, they freak out. If you're laughing, they'll laugh. We're wired that way. You know, so I messed it up a lot, and then I'd go back and I'd be like, well, that one didn't go so well. How do I fix it next time? Knowing I can't ever be perfect, but I can look at it and go, I kind of was a dick to him. Because I used to want to be right. I used to want to like push back and get them to be like, nah, you're right. I did fill it out. Yeah, you're right. I used to need that validation of like, I'm correct. Now I don't care if they say I'm correct or not. I just care that we get where I want to go. And I'll play dumb in a second. I don't care. I'll play the role. You know what I mean? If I can get people to track. So it's a lot of trial and error, dude. A lot of asking for help. You know, I follow good people that were good at it. I didn't invent any of this stuff. You know what I mean? But there's books on psychology and communication and sales and the art of people. And you know how many books there are on this shit? So now my question back to you is, how many books y'all write about this stuff? Go upstairs, see how many are on my bookshelf. Come in the house tonight, see how many are on the bookshelf there. Hundreds of books in the last 10 years. Prior to that, I can name the 2 books I read my whole life prior to that. I didn't try to educate myself. So that's one of the things that went into my schedule. Because I have time where I improve upon who I am. And I try to seek, and I hate reading. But I love what it gives me. You know what I mean? It teaches me a lot. So I'm like, I guess I got to do it. So I've studied psychology. I've studied sales stuff. I've studied how to ask questions. I watch videos. I watch podcasts. I don't consume anything that ain't bettering my mission. TikTok's about the only thing that I'll dick around on a little bit. That's some dumb stuff, but it makes me laugh. Outside of that, I don't really mess with stuff that doesn't help me. And some people think, is it like whatever's going on in the world? I don't know or care. Smart people got to figure it out. I ain't going to shift it. My opinion on this, I ain't your guy. Trump or that one, dude, they're all lying. I don't care. This thing, that, I just don't care. I don't have time for noise. And people in my life, I stop it. I don't allow it. Hell, I've done it to a couple people today. They started talking. I'm like, no. So why are we going there? Why don't we talk about what matters? You know, and that's for this stuff. That's kind of where it's at.
If you're an insurance agent and you feel like you're stuck, you've hit a wall, you're trying to figure out sales strategies, the scripts to use, how to get like off the ground and get to that top of the leaderboard type status. I have a course that I've put out, super affordable. I'm getting a ton of great feedback from people every day on the strategies they've learned and been able to implement, from goal setting to sales techniques to calendar scheduling, everything you would need to get your business off the ground and get running quickly. jwcourse.com, click the link below and get in there today.
The leads thing, I'm gonna touch a little bit on that since it talks about it. We're gonna break in like 15 minutes, Amanda? 3:45 to 4? Cool, 15 minutes. I'm gonna touch on this thing. So leads and opportunities, one like, and you can do this leads for anything. These leads, like a lot of people here, sales, leads could be recruits, leads could be, hell, y'all coming to this event. Like there was some intentionality about putting this together. You know what I mean? Like there's things we do on purpose to get enough people here. And so my best probably advice on leads in general, I'm gonna start with this kind of sales side. I'm a big fan of like multiple lead types and multiple lead vendors. I'm not getting in bed with any one lead anything. Because I just know with time, it's eventually gonna change. And I know the best one today is gonna be the shittiest one in 6 months. And I know what y'all love now, you ain't gonna love in 3 years. Everybody's IUL craze. I'm like, dude, they've sold quadrillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of insurance before that was the craze. Someone asked me earlier, in-home versus telesales. Who cares? It all works. You think in-home's going away? You think human connection, conversations inside people's houses going away? At the core, they still want to take care of their family. Go see them, talk to them on Zoom, call them on the phone. Who cares? It all works. There's companies killing it in every way. My opinion, someone asked me yesterday, do you really think just a lead is a lead is a lead? I'm like, kinda. Like, if it says fill this out for free ping pong balls and I gotta sell them insurance, obviously that's a quote unquote bad lead. But if it says at all what it is, to me there ain't no bad lead. And I go, why? What is the lead?
Someone who fills something out.
It's a person.
It's a person.
That's it.
Yeah.
Who probably has family. Do you think they love their family any less than you love yours? All right, do you want to leave your family in a shitty situation?
Hell no.
Do you think they probably don't either? I don't care when they filled it out. Does that change?
No.
The length of time that they filled out a piece of paper, how much you pay for the piece of paper, does the core of what a lead is change? In that way, a lead's a lead's a lead to me. Because at the core, they all care for their family, and they all want them in a better situation. Now, does the approach change? Hell yeah. Why wouldn't it change? You know what I mean? So it's like you're having bad result with a lead. You go, that lead sucks. Let me go to this lead. I'm like, time out. Have you thought about the possibility that you suck? Have you thought about that possibility?
You couldn't sit.
Most people, the answer is no, dude. Fair? Who's hop different lead vendors because they didn't like the lead? I'm like, yo, if they've been in business for a minute, fair to say someone's probably making money. Or they wouldn't keep getting orders. Fair?
Fair.
So someone's figured it out. Is it going to be easy? I ain't saying that. Dude, AIL, anyone ever work there? Child safety kit? Union? Yo, it's like curveball over. Look over here. Psych insurance. Billions of dollars a year. That's the model. Aflac. They don't even do lead. They go find them. They bang on doors everywhere. Combined, bang on doors everywhere. Some of those senior places, bang on doors. That's all they do. You know what I mean? Fill stuff out. Hell, free coupons to win this. Someone's closing them. Or people wouldn't keep ordering. Supply and demand, basic marketing and economics would come into play. And so many people are a lead vendor. I'm like, I don't know. And then you look at the lead and you're like, that lead didn't work or it did work. I'm like, why do we stop at that lead? Recruiting, same way. Give me the best recruiting lead. You know the average person's a dipshit, right? Hey, get a bunch of recruiting leads. You know what you're going to get? Bunch of dipshits. Does that mean they all are? No. I got to learn how to weed through them. I got to learn how to talk to them. I got to learn how to work them, right? Either way, now I'm like, at its core, is the lead just an opportunity for me to sell? Or is it an opportunity for me to meet someone else I don't yet know also? Is it an opportunity for me to find an annuity opportunity, a cross-sale opportunity like they were talking about earlier? Referrals. Like, are you actually working them? Probably not. Some companies go, you get a lead, they say no to you here, then you go knock on their door too. And then if you knock on their door, you also knock, they have this little T thing. You knock on the neighbors across from each other and across the street. Bet y'all ain't doing that. Why? It works. There's successful companies doing all this stuff. So for me, I'm like, how do I just get in front of more people that love their family? That's how you sell a shitload of insurance. Should you start in one arena and get really good at it before you start bouncing all the others? I think so. You know? Do I need to know how to do like I never cross-sold nothing. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but you know, I had a chance to go like, I could get them homeowners insurance too, or Medicare too, but that sounded like more noise for me. It sounded like something new to learn that I didn't really want to. I'm like, and people were like, yeah, but I can make the money on it. I'm already there. I'm like, yeah, but well, you're there extra. You're no longer at someone else's house that you could be selling the shit you know. So for me, cross-selling meant I saw less people doing what I do well. I'm not mad at people that do it. My choice was, I'm good there, I'm gonna stick to this. And I'm gonna do this more than you do both combined. You know? And then when I'm there, I'm gonna get the most I can out of leads. I wish I did it better with the sales side of leads. I was not good at getting referrals and following up. I wish I was good at that. It's now the way we work it on, the way I've learned to work it on the recruiting side. Dude, I get a ton out of, let me communicate with someone. And some examples I'll give you, like on the recruiting side especially. I've had a ton of situations, the equivalent of asking for referrals. If y'all have followed me for any amount of time, I talk about this often, so if it's a repeat, I apologize. But this business is not really that deep. Anyone I recruit, I always have a really simple concept. Like, if I'm working with you in any capacity, even if it's an initial interview, immediately to me, you're a recruiter for me. Immediately. Why? You know people I don't know. And I want to know the people you know. Right? And if I can get you to go, hey, Wetmore's hiring, she believes in you, which makes her believe in me. She don't believe in me at all if I one-on-one. She don't know me. Cold market, off an ad, whatever, she don't give a rip. But you tell her about me, instant change in the dynamic, right? So I started going like, all right, I'm gonna recruit people. Go, he's recruiting these, the guy's an idiot. The idiots know really smart people. Right? So I'm like, I wanna know more of them. So I was very intentional when I dealt with interviews, you know, and start talking to people. Part of the conversation is like, hey, you know, obviously you seem like you're trying to figure out how to do more in your life and get yourself in a better situation. Maybe this works, maybe it doesn't. Crazy thing is, our industry's blowing up. I'm hiring like crazy. Do you happen to know anybody else that you hang around with that's looking for opportunity also? Because I'm hiring and I'm training. I would just ask that every time I talk to someone. He goes like, most people probably say no. Most people do say no. But every once in a while, you know, and the most common story, there's two stories I've done it a couple different times, but we have lots of them. The one I tell the most because it's the funniest to me. When I used to fly, I'd fly out to Utah to sell, and hired this dude Jesse out there. Sat down with him, talked to him about it. He was like, I'm gonna kill it. That guy, I'm the best at everything. I'm gonna kill it. He was that dude. I'm like, okay, great, all good. I heard that 42 times today. Anyway, who do you know? All right, he tells me about this dude, Alan, in Texas. He refers me to Alan. I go, Jesse, cool, we'll send you the stuff. We'll get you hired. All good. It was longer than that, but that's the gist. Go to Alan, same thing. Talk to him, recruit him. Hey, who do you know? He refers me to Jackie in Missouri. Same thing, hire her, get her started, da-da-da. She knows James, who she was dating. He's licensed also, wanted to come over. Long story short, Alan sold a handful of policies, quit. Jesse, who was the conduit to it all, never got contracted. Jackie and James built a team doing a couple $100,000 a month and have sold millions of dollars of insurance in the last 10 years. Jesse never did one thing. Never even got contracted. Never did the paperwork. He was the guy that's going to kill it that ghosted me. And y'all have a lot of Jessies out there. You just don't ask who they know. You know what I'm saying? And I have tons of relationships now that came to me through people that I met at one point, may or maybe didn't work, may or may not worked out, but they led me to other people. And I built the whole agency doing that. You know, cold market, let me find their warm market. My warm market is what it is. It's small. I didn't have a lot. I don't know a lot of people. I didn't really like the idea of calling my friends and family. Hey, and I did it. I didn't like it. Early on, dude, made a list of 100 people, called them all. Threw up on them about the opportunity. Hated how it felt. Like, I ain't doing that shit. But if you want to do it, I'll let you do it. I'll just tell you how to do it. You know what I mean? I just started asking. And so it's like opportunities are available to you all the time. But so many of us see it on just a surface level and we bounce. So I'm all about bouncing in 3 minutes, bro, if I have to. But while I'm there, I want to try to get some value out of it. You know? And there's opportunities around us all, every day, all the time. Think about just your trip here. How many people did you see that you could have communicated with that are probably doing something in life, but they'd like a better opportunity? And maybe they're good at what they are. Maybe it was the waiter. Maybe it was the flight attendant. Maybe it was the person, the Uber person. Maybe it was whatever. The person at the hotel. The person, like, are you talking to these people? Or you just hope it falls out of the sky and hits you in the head with a big agency one day? You know what I mean? I talk to people everywhere I go about stuff. Like, why wouldn't I? You know, you start living different. It's really easy for people to notice. You start making a bunch of money selling. Any of y'all ever had the ability to, like, and I know there's a few people in here. I won't say it this way. You ever, like, those of you that aren't where you want to be financially yet, you ever, like, wonder what it feels like to go, like, somewhere and order a bunch of shit and never look at the price? Like for dinner. It's like go out with 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 people and just like, let's just order 4 of those and 3 of those and 5 of those and 7 of those and 8 of those and just bring them all out. That shit feels good, don't it? Yeah, buddy, it feels good as fuck. You ever been to dinner with a bunch of people and you have to fight with who can sneak the credit card to the waiter first to pay for everybody?
Go to the bathroom.
Or hey, but when your buddy knows that trick, you might have to call in advance and let him know not to take that fool's card. I'm paying. That life don't suck. Credit card roulette. You ever play that? Get dinner, $1,000 dinner. Put the cards in, someone picks it blind, whoever picks out pays for the whole thing. It's fun, dude. You know? It's like, I don't know. I like living different. And when you start to live different, people notice. You know how many times waiter, waitress be like, yo, that's a dope watch. I'm like, thanks. Start talking to them. You know what I mean? They start seeing you order like that. People are like, yo, what do y'all do? And I'm in sweats or basketball shorts or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm like super chill. And it's like, wait, y'all are fighting. Like, how many tables do you think that they wait on that fight over who's going to pay? Verse go, can you split it 16 ways? I've been around some people y'all know that you think got money that has to do that. And I'm like, I'll just pay. I'll pay. I got it. I like that life better. Is it everything? Nah, but it doesn't suck. You know? And so for me, it's like opportunity. I can find opportunity in any of those environments. You sell a bunch, you can live a little bit different. People are going to notice. You take those opportunities and help them get further in life. And I go, like, how many people out there that you know currently probably want to make more money? All of them. Anybody dispute that? How many of them you talk about this thing with? Of all of them, what percentage do you talk about this with? I bet it's really close to 0 for most. It's pretty close to 0 for most. I'm like, is that smart? I don't know. You happy with where you're at? I ain't saying talking to them always going to change everybody, but I'm definitely talking to people about it. You know what I mean? I want to provide opportunity to others. And so for me, whether it's a client lead or a recruiting lead, I'm like, I want to get more out of it. I want to identify opportunity. I want to be able to push the needle. You know what I mean? If I'm going to do the work, I told you I do like easy too. I am willing to work my mother effing face off more than most of you are willing to. I am willing to do it. But I don't want to keep doing the same thing forever over and over again. I want to get really good at this one thing, go like, got it figured out, teach y'all how to do it, and then go figure out the next thing. I like the chase. I like the challenge. I love that part of it. I've learned. I didn't know that at first. I used to get frustrated by the challenge. The challenge is where it's at. The hard is where people fall off. You know what I mean? And most people get the hard and go, oop, don't work. What? Do you actually believe that it don't work? Or are you just saying that so you feel better about yourself for stopping when it was hard? I know my answer. Because I did it. You know what I mean? And I wanted to feel good about myself. I wanted to be able to say, I'm giving it everything I got. You know? And I don't know, this thing can turn into insane world. The luxury I have is I get the ability to look backwards and now see how those dots connected. When I was doing it, I was just reps. I'm a big fan of reps. I'm gonna do more reps than you. I will. You might be better. I don't give a rip. You ain't gonna last statistically. You know, there's some people do more than me. Yep. Do better. Yep. Smarter, fast. Yep. But I'm like, bell curve, dude. I'm in top 1% about everything I do. That's good enough for me. I just want to be in that room. I ain't got to be the guy. But to outdo the average person ain't hard. It ain't hard. There are hard pieces about it. There are going to be hard times. There are going to be difficulties. It's not a cakewalk. But the concept of keep going, get better at it, adjust, learn from the mistake, keep going, fix it, adjust. Like, problems are the opportunities. And most people see the problem as like, ooh, I should stop. You know, it's like, nah, that's where you put the gas down. I had a guy hit me up. He's like, hey man, I was at an event with you a couple weeks ago. He goes, I'm finally figuring out if I do this many, I can sell this many. He goes, I'm finally profitable. I learn if I spend this, I make this. And I responded and I was like, well, now's the time to step on the mother effing gas. First just keep doing what I'm doing. I'm profitable. That dude back there, who was telling me, was it you again? Were you talking with the, how much you're spending versus what we're making? That was me and you, right? What was the numbers? You're running how many appointments? What was the question? What was the original question?
So I was,
How to get to...
where the industry is going, is it, the original question was telesales versus
Yeah.
sales.
And I squashed that in 4 seconds. Yeah. And then we got into...
How much I'm spending versus how much I'm making
Yeah.
per week or how much.
It was like 50 leads, get you 12 appointments or something like that, right?
$1,000 a week.
Yeah, so then I was like, what do you make versus what do you spend? Something about profitability or whatever. And then he said, to remind me what you spend?
Spend $1,000 a week,
To make...
about 5,000.
Okay, so for me, I go, if you spend 2, what do you think you're gonna make?
10.
Why do we complicate it more than that? I don't understand. But what lead vendor? No. 1 turns into 5. I don't care if 1 turns into 1,500. If I had a blackjack table over there right now, and you came over with $1,000 and you left with 1,500, you'd be fired up out of your mind. You spend 1,000 on leads, make 1,500, you act like you got murdered or robbed, family taken away. Like you have 50% on your money in a couple days. I ain't saying that's the best number in life insurance, but it don't suck. So I'm like, can't we just spend 2 and make 10? Or like, what if you spent 1 and made 5? What if you said, F everything, drop all 5? Now what are you gonna make? Is it gonna be easy to book appointments?
Easier.
You think? It's gonna be easier to make some sales? You think you're making 5 G's back?
I'll make that do
How quick?
a week.
So why, when we spend 500 and make 2 grand, why do we go, let me spend the 2 grand, forget to make it. Let's not turn it into more. My bills are due. Bro, you're telling me I can take that 2 and pick a number. Yo, the bill can be late. I'll come up with, I don't care, $57 for late fee. Perfect. My credit. Okay, it already sucks. Who cares? Because I can make it now. So the beauty I learned is I only have to do that game once. Right? You make a few bucks, say you make $1,000, whatever you make, one time, you got to go forget all the noise. I'm gonna bet on me. Put it back in, because now you exponentially make more. Now you can continue to invest at the high level, and there's plenty left for the bills. Y'all just keep playing that same hamster wheel game with a little bit, get a little bit, put in a little bit, get a little bit, put in a little bit, get a little bit, put in a little bit, get a little bit. I'm like, nah, let's go, let's push them in. Now, what do you got back there with? A lot of work. And that's what most people are afraid of. They won't push in because they ain't willing to do the work. And I'm like, the work's the easy part for me. Does it make sense? And so we'll get into that. We're going to break now. Just go to the bathroom, do whatever you got to do. The rest of it, I'm just going to end the next hour, just Q&A. Whatever y'all want to know, we'll just wide open, ask questions. Yeah, just be the first one when we get back. All right, y'all good? Yes, sir. All right, this is your time. We got an hour. I can talk about whatever the hell you want. You go first, bro.
When you did house filtering, did you always have a leak from somewhere else, or you just went door knocking and
Yeah,
and find people?
sure. I've done all of it. When I was brand new, I didn't have money. I'd buy leads. First time I bought leads, I dialed them a few times and quit. And then I would be the guy that would buy leads. I would call them once, they didn't answer, and I'd be like, that lead sucked, and I'd have a pile of those. There was a stage when I was at, oh yeah, you ran into one of my policies. So yesterday, dude came up from, we're in Florida, right? Yeah, dude came up from Florida, was gonna run while he was up here for a couple days. I gave him a couple counties to run. I'm like, here's where he was gonna run in one county. I'm like, I'd go here. So I gave him the county. How much you write yesterday? 7K. Drove from Florida.
Last 2 days,
9K, call it. Cool. He said 8.6. 8,600 in 2 days. Came up from Florida, ran in my backyard, texted me yesterday a screenshot of a policy with my name on it. Wow. Yeah, coincidentally, happened to run into one. And it was 100%. How many policies they have? 4 policies.
So you need some more life insurance, huh?
Imagine that. Dude, this thing works, you know? So early on, man, I remember that was Stephanie's first house she bought when she was in her early 20s. You should literally drive by it. Go drive by one day. It's number 34, which is also, again, my favorite number. Huh? Yeah, the address was on that damn screenshot you sent me. Yeah, that was the house I lived in when I started in insurance. I had 5 kids in that house, tiny little house in a ratty subdivision. It was Steph's first purchase. But when I got evicted from the apartment I was in, I went and moved in with her. And so when I was there, there's a few subdivisions up and down that road if you go by there. It's technically Powder Springs, but it's really Hiram. It's right by where you were running. And I would go up and down that road, and I'd go into subdivisions, and I'd bring around a Mutual of Omaha, like I had those little folders they give you that I don't know how they do it now, but when you used to get contracted, they'd ship you all kinds of shit for free if you wanted. You can call me like, give me brochures, and I'd walk around a subdivision with a clipboard and a Mutual of Omaha thing saying I was the new manager in town, represent Mutual of Omaha, just here to see if you need life insurance. And I'd knock on doors around neighborhoods. Sold some insurance. Hated it. Not my jam. I'm much more of a like, let me buy a lead kind of guy. I'm not really much of a like, let me go network and meetings and event. That's not my jam. But I did it because I needed to make money. And I've done way worse stuff to make money. You know, before insurance, I was telling them there was a period I was in the mortgage business, made some money, lost it. And before I took the last accounting job I had, there was a period of time where I accepted a job to deliver newspapers for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution overnight shift in 2009, 8 or 9. Like I was going to be a paper boy again, like I was when I was 8. All right. And then I went into I got a job at a call center instead. So I didn't do the newspaper, I did call center and I did a tax thing. But at the time I had no money. So I walk around the neighborhood where you saw that policy at and I go bang on doors. And for me, I wanted to do everything in my power to never have to do that again because I didn't like that. So I started buying leads, dude. And, for me, I had a rule where you had to say no to me twice, once on the phone and once in person. This was a rule for me. You go, I work somewhere else. I'm like, they have airplanes that can go to where any of your leads are if you want to. I sold insurance in Utah. I sold insurance in Ohio. And I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying I couldn't get what I needed here to sell what I wanted to sell necessarily, so I went other places too. Y'all have the ability to obviously buy and sell remote now, similar concept. So I would knock on doors of leads also, always, until I got to a point, which did I love? No. Did I sell insurance? Ass ton of it. And I found a good way to approach a home that got me in more doors than not. And it was, again, very simple. But I didn't want to do that either. So I found if I spent more on leads, I could now book easy. Because, right, you buy any batch of leads, some appointments are easy as shit to book. Some are a pain in the ass, some don't answer. You get a mix of that no matter how, you buy 5 leads, you might not get a mix. But if you buy 100 leads anywhere, you're going to have some easy ones, bunch of pain in the ass, a shitload don't answer. I'm like, if I buy 2 stacks instead of 1 stack, isn't the cream on the top now thicker? Because I get 2 stacks of cream on the top. So my strategy was, I'll spend more, take the cream off the top, and not stress so much about this side. And when I started building, that's the side. Remember, I worked that side for years. I did not like it. So I'm like, let me get the cream off the top, and let me have other people run these. So when I'd recruit, I'd be like, here's leads. I'd call appointments. I'd book easy appointments. Here's the rest. Y'all go sell. Free. Go sell. And I would supplement people that were working with those leads so I didn't have to. Then I got to a point where I was booking so many easy ones and I could book so many in a short, you heard me earlier, 7:45, dude, I got my whole 2 days booked out. I didn't have to door knock anymore. So do I do it because I love it? Nah, I do it because I didn't have money and I know I can get more money if I do it. Right? But I didn't want to do it forever. No different than selling. I didn't want to sell forever. I did it to get out of a situation and I moved on from selling. I didn't want to be the one doing recruiting calls all day, every day. I don't do that anymore either. I did that for a period of time. I taught how to do it. I got out of it. Taught other people how to do it. And I built systems on how to do things and how you do this. And I didn't want to do that either. So I'm like, shit, someone else do this. So I'm always going like, where does this thing lead me? And how do I get to the next thing? Right? So I did knock on doors. I've done every piece of this business, dude. But I didn't want that to be a forever plan. A lot of the strategies I give people, even some of the stuff I'm talking about today, it's not a forever plan. Sometimes you got to look like, how do I get from point A to today's point B? And your point B ain't got to be 1,000 agents doing $9 zillion. Point B could just be like, yo, I can invest automatically in leads without ever worrying about it. That might be your next step, right? And it might take knocking on last time we had an event here, I told some of y'all this. Last June, I had 3 people show up to this event. And it was free. We had 30 registered, 3 showed up. I was pissed. I came downstairs, I'm like, I'm going fuck home. Amanda's like, you can't. I'm like, why? She said, they want to get paid. I'm like, got me in my own words. So I came in here, I did a meeting like this for 3 people. All day, just 3 people. None of them do this anymore. But I'm like, one day this is going to turn into something. One day not only and I've packed this out with agents for years when they're in my group, but going outside my world, different game. Does that make sense? And quite frankly, sometimes people in my group don't like it. I'm like, all right, well, remember what I said earlier, what my thoughts are? I don't give a fuck. I'm going to keep helping people. And so last time we were here, I challenged a girl to go do it because she was in a financial bind. She had a few weeks to pay some bill or something got taken away. And I'm like, you seem really stressed for it being a few weeks away. She's like, it's in 3 weeks. They like, take something. I don't remember what it was. And I'm like, can I ask you a question? She sold some insurance. Like, how long does it take you to make money in this space? If you sell a policy today, when do you get paid?
24 hours.
You have 3 weeks to figure it out. She's like, I don't have money. I go, open that door. 300 million people out it. I said, I bet you if you go around this neighborhood and knock on doors in my complex and go, hey, John from building 800 told me to come knock over here and see if anybody needs help with life insurance. I bet you'll find one. At lunch, I made her go outside. I said, go outside, go knock on doors, don't come back till someone says yes. She's back before lunch ended. Guy right over there was like, yep. $40-something a month policy, nothing big. But that taught her like, oh damn, there's something to do. So next time she was out on her own on a Saturday, she went and door knocked, sold a policy for $4,000. Knocking on a door cold. You know what I mean? And she was worried about this couple $1,000 thing 3 weeks away. She made it back in 48 hours with no leads, no money. You know what I mean? And so for me, I'm like, yes, I knocked on doors, dude. I'm trying to get paid. I will do whatever to get paid. And have I been the guy that sat around doing nothing? Yes. I tried that. I'm telling you, it don't work. It don't get better. Those of y'all that ain't changing, it does not get better. It continues to suck. The only way I know how is to go like, let me do exponentially more of it for a window. Let me have a run. Let me go at it for a minute. And then I can pull back, and then I can judge. Then I can, you know what I mean? Like, if y'all follow me around every day, I'm like, I am busy, but I'm not as busy as y'all think. Because I don't have to go all in all day, every day anymore. There was a period of time and I learned how to navigate it, so now I'm more effective with it. But one of my least favorite things, do more, I talk about it all the time. My least favorite response to that, and the people who I hate saying it, I hate, is when they go, work smarter, not harder. I get that on my comments all the fucking time. And I'm like, can we not do both? Like, why do we have to work smart and less? I don't understand that, and if you want to, cool. I find it weird though that people do that and also complain about their situation. That part's really confusing to me. If you want to work less and you're happy, I'll give you a high five. I'll be the first one. But most people are unhappy. You know what I mean? So for me, dude, I'm like, whatever it takes to get to the next level. And hopefully I find a way that that's not my living forever. Because I'm going to navigate to find a way out of that permanently. And I think some people are willing to navigate it for a little while, and then it feels like a hamster wheel. And they only want to knock on doors because it's cheaper. Or they only want to buy the 4-year-old leads because it's cheaper and the ROI is heavy. I'm like, I don't know. That don't sound fun for me forever. Forever? Ain't much I want forever. So yeah, dude, I don't know, man. I don't know if that answered the way you wanted to, but I've done all of that. Go, bro.
What up, insurance agents? If you're looking for a roadmap on how to win in this industry, check out the book I wrote about a year ago, Do More Now, Get Better Later. Check out the reviews here somewhere. My team's putting them on. I'm getting tons of great feedback about all the people it's helped. Appreciate those of y'all that have bought it. Appreciate all the reviews that are going out. If you're new to following me or the industry, check out the book and get it in your hands now.
Script versus flow, especially as it relates to training new agents.
Sure. My honest answer is I don't think a script's worth shit. But at the same time, I'm not dumb. So I like to help people see things different, dude. Right? It's like, where do you think people mess up with script? You said script versus flow, right? So it implies they're missing flow. Which, right, where do they, what's the real struggle when you're trying to say book an appointment? We'll go that script.
I would say the place where people mess up with script is when someone takes them out of their script, they get lost.
And how do they get out of the script? Why?
Either because they're not reading the script.
They don't know it.
Or because the client is running the call.
Correct. Part of the mistake is what you just said is that because they're not reading it. I didn't ask someone if they can read a script. I give someone a script so they can learn what it does. Dude, no one asked for story time. So when I go like, give me your script, if you have to go, hi, John, Stop. I just like, what? Now, day one, do I want to give someone some like bumper lanes and to make sure they don't fall off the rails? Yeah. But like, I'm not trying to be an ass. Pick a script. How long does it take to learn it? Define no time. I mean, how long is a script? Really? Paragraphs. Couple? Couple? Few? I do. Maddox was like in second grade, and they gave him till Friday to learn Bible verses. I figure if he's 7 and can learn a whole Bible verse in 4 days, is it fair to say you could probably learn this script this week? So I kind of start there with people. And then if people that have been doing it for a long time, I think where people mess it up, you said flow. What I hear is like their tone and the way they say things and the timing of things, right? And kind of like making it natural, okay? And so the analogy I always give people is like they get confused on how to do that tone right and why. And my favorite thing to do, I wish I had one here, but like someone had on the hoodie. Oh, Brandon's wearing it. If I had on one of the hoodies, right, and we're at this event and maybe I know you a little bit, like we know each other, but we don't know each other super well. Like if you call me cold and I didn't have your number, fair to say you'd have to explain who you are. Okay. Let's just say we leave this event and I forgot my hoodie right there and you saw it and you had to call me later to get me to know who you are and tell me you found my hoodie and you need to bring it by tomorrow. Do you need a script for that? No. Do you understand the tone you would use? Yep. Pretend you call me like you found my hoodie. And we don't know each other well. How's it go?
Hey, John. Cool.
Yeah?
Yeah, John.
All right, so the magic in that is what?
Hey, John.
What's it do?
It makes him not a telemarketer or.
It creates curiosity.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like he knows me, but kind of like not sure.
Like, who is this?
Right?
Yeah.
And I go, yeah? Now what?
Like, yeah, John, this is Josh. We were just at the conference together, and looks like you left your hoodie here. I'm the big black guy that had on the black hoodie.
Got you. Yeah. What up, dude?
So it looks like you left your hoodie here. I just wanted to bring it by your house tomorrow.
Perfect. Hell yeah.
All right, perfect. In the morning, afternoon, or evening?
Afternoon.
All right, perfect. 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock?
3's perfect.
Cool, man. I'll see you at 3 o'clock.
Dope.
I would confirm the address.
So when I'm with a new agent that's brand new and they're worried about it, I do that. And 100% of the time they nail it. I've never had someone not know how to call me and say they found my hoodie, dude. And you're telling me you can't call someone and say, hey, I'm calling you back about this thing you filled out without a script? You've convinced yourself this is that hard that you can't call someone and say who you are and why you're calling without fucking losing control of it? What does it give them instantly? When I do that exercise, what's it do?
Confidence.
Instant confidence. I ain't going, ring, ring. I tried that. It don't work. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Cool.
So I was thinking about when you open up an agency, like where these bad habits come from of like blaming on the leads or blaming on the upline or whatever. Because when I came in, for me personally, it was never about the lead. It was mainly myself and the belief in like follow through and the work and all that stuff. I never hear of any like the agency owners talk about like the mindset coming into working. Only a little bit. It's more like training them on the script and stuff like that. I think it's more important to train the agents on their mindset and all that stuff.
Are you asking me a question you know the answer to already?
I'm just asking how you would do it.
You see how I do it. What do I focus on more? No, I want him to answer. What do I focus on most?
Do more.
Activity. And someone else just said it. Mindset. I think that marketing scripts and sales and 5 steps to success, that stuff sells. That appeases most people's current thoughts. It makes them feel good. It makes them feel like you have training and you have support. I think it's horseshit, personally. Do I think it's important? Yes. Do I think it's number one? No. Not at all. Because what's a great script for someone that doesn't work? What's a great script for someone who has a shitty mindset towards leads? What's a great recruiting script for someone who doesn't give a rip if they get paid or not? Right? So like, meaning if you're stuck in a spot, me and you, straight up right now, if I teach you every script I got and I send you off to people tomorrow, will you be able to say any of them like I say them tomorrow? Okay. So fair to say it's not really that important that I tell you exactly what I say in every situation. Okay? If I send you off tomorrow and I teach you how to see 30 people, no script, just the jacket training, you think you'll sell some policies by mistake? Yep. Will that create confidence? Will it validate what I said that you don't have to know this to make money? What do you think that does to their buy-in? Through the roof, dude. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm always careful. I'm like, I'm not saying don't get better. If you hear that, that is not with a megaphone what I'm saying. What I'm saying is activity makes you better by default. Fair?
Fair.
And then I also made an active choice to postpone getting better until I was booked.
Say that again?
Say it again.
I made a choice to postpone the getting better until I was booked up. Why do I have to get better if I don't see anyone? Why does it matter? I never understood that, dude. I tell people all the time, if my book said work smarter, not harder, I would sell way more books than if I said work your ass off. But I don't believe in it. I didn't make money from getting smart at this, bro. I got smart and good at this because I outworked everyone and I was intentional along the way, combined with trying to get better. But so many people are trying to get better in bulk before they go. And if I go learn all this shit, there's buckets of it. How much can you really absorb? With the context of you don't even know where to apply it because you've never experienced it.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right.
When I go like, hey, when you're sitting with a 72-year-old lady, 300 grand, and they go, I want it all or nothing. When you experience that, now I can go, here's what you say. Because now you go, got it. You got kids? You. Yeah. Who doesn't have kids in here? All right, Justin. If I sat down, I got 5 kids, bro. I've been changing diapers since I was 8. I'm not kidding. Yeah. I mean, I've been changing diapers as long as I can remember. All my cousins, I was young. My mom was a teenager when she had me. You know what I mean? So all the kids born in the family at normal times, I was already fucking grown. So all the babies that came in, I was playing with, taking care of. I love babies, always have. If I sat down right now and explained to you how to effectively change a shitty diaper that explode. Any of y'all ever do one that explodes?
Oh, yes.
Me and you, bro. I explain it. And then I get Amanda's twins in here tomorrow. And I say, you're in charge, bro. There are 2. Good luck. Are you going to have any success changing that diaper?
I'd have to figure it out on my own.
Imagine that. Now imagine you do it a few times and I'm like, yo, all right, dude, I see you like trying to balance things with the elbow and do all these crazy, you grab both feet and lift it up like this. And then as you take the diaper off, you wipe while you're taking it off. And that cleans up like half of it right away.
You've done that a few times, haven't you?
You think? And then when you take the back off, be careful because sometimes it goes up their back too. So when you take out the back, you wipe it this way. You don't wipe it that way because it'll go up their back more. You wipe it this way. The ones that have done it know what the fuck I'm talking about. You're like, I think this is funny, but I'm not really sure. Right? So to me, dude, going script training with him on how to change a diaper is like, why are we doing it? I've never understood it. And people wanted to do it with me, and I bought in. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. I should know how to change diapers before I have a baby. What? Imagine knowing how to raise kids before you have kids.
Or you even put the car seat in the car before you go to the hospital to have it.
You think? Amanda has twins. Listen to me. Amanda has twins. They're 2.5. Who put in the fucking car seat last week?
John?
I did.
I'm not trying to figure that
My kids haven't been in. Maddox is 13. I put her car seats in last week. And they've changed. But the basic concept is they hook up to the 2 little hooks on the edge, and then you do the one over the back and you tighten them enough. You know how many car seats I've changed in my life? You know what I mean? And this is the same for me. It's like we learn by doing, making mistakes, and getting correction on that mistake from someone who's done. That's the path to winning. Can you navigate on your own and learn some shit by yourself and invent some stuff? Yeah. Are you that guy? Because I ain't that guy. That does exist. But everyone wants to be that. And I'm like, I don't need to be Christopher Columbus or anything. I'm just like good going like, can I just buy that land? Who found it? I don't give a shit. I just want it. You know? And I don't know. I think people overcomplicate all of this, all of everything. You know, and I'm like, can't we just be real about it? Like, I don't have a script, dude. And if I do, it doesn't work for most people because they don't put the work behind it. You know? And so I've learned to find this nice balance, and I've learned how to give stories and analogies like baby shit and diapers. I've never used that one before. I made it up on the spot. You're welcome. To help people make sense of it. Because in any other context, who would want to know that before they got started? No one in anything. But somehow here we've all convinced each other we need to know it all before we do it all. I'm like, why are we all lying to each other? You know? And again, the other side of it, people hear, he says don't have a script. No. It's not what I said. He said you don't have to learn your stuff. I did not say that. Are we clear? Thank you. Well, who said that? That was a fucking good one. That's the math thing. What's that? EMD, whatever the hell it is? Someone in here probably knows that. What is it? See? I told you someone knows this shit. PEMDAS. Oh yeah, math T. There you go. And I'm good at math, and I don't know that thing. You know? Who else?
Hey, John, can you talk about the mindset of breaking through the slump? So,
Sure.
I think that Cody Atkins 8% that we went to launch.
Okay.
I was killing it, in my opinion. You know, from February all the way till September, and I did exactly what: buy more leads, get
Sure.
that lead spin up, and
Sure.
go. And I drove Topeka, Kansas City, Oklahoma City, and Wichita, Kansas, and it was the worst 3-month stretch ever. And I think I just pulled out of it like in December.
Sure.
So now when we say buy more leads, right? Get your lead. I just get back to where I need to be. When we say spend more leads, and
I didn't say spend more leads.
I mean
You said that.
get more leads. So
That's different.
yeah. So can you talk about that mindset that when you hit slumps or when you hit those spaces that you know, okay, I have the skill set, I've done this before, I know I can do it.
Yeah.
But the hesitancy of getting out there and spending that money because, you know, that it took a long time for that money to come back after I was gone.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't this lady, one lady guaranteed issue.
But you had sold a bunch for a while.
Yeah,
All right, so let's talk about why after you sold a bunch for a while, were you in a bind in only 3 months?
I say it again.
Meaning, you saw the period of time you said you were doing well was what?
Right. February to September.
Okay. So then the question is, why when you got here, I will answer the question, but what I really want you to ponder is why when you got there and you got in a slump, did it affect you so badly that you ran out of money?
Oh, I didn't run out of money. It's just the spending. It just, I went back to
Okay.
the weekly 400.
So you had the cash to do it. So there was just now a fear of doing it because you second guessed yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Different answer, right? So like some people, they make it and then they get here and there's none. Like that's another problem. We got to rewind and figure out how we got there first. But in your situation, I remember the first time, I sold, first of all, the first time I sold $5,000 in a week, I swear the IMO threw a parade for me. That's how different it was back in the day. 5 G's in a week, it was like, holy moly, you invented insurance, I think. And I'm like, it was 3 apps. You know what I mean? And then I remember the first time I did it 3 weeks in a row. And I said to myself, dude, have I figured this thing out? And I went, I wonder if I'm gonna go back to sucking or not. Or like, will it stay like this? I'm like kind of wondering. You know what I mean? And then like week 4, I did it again. And then week 5, I did it again. I'm like, what the hell? You know? And then you go through a time where it's like you book 20 appointments and 3 show up and you sell none. Or you sell the guaranteed issue one and they cancel before you get home. I always, I have to tell myself that I know what I'm doing because I've proven that I've done it. Also, I have to tell myself the game ain't really changed. It's the people are the people. And if I see enough of them, can it possibly stay this bad forever? Also, is there something I'm doing that's bringing it on? Meaning when you're going through a slump, is it fair to say that your mood, your demeanor, your personality changes? It's affected. Is that fair? Okay. Is it fair to say that if your demeanor is affected, that other people can feel the difference in energy? If they saw you great, high, and you low, and they got to view the 2 different versions, would they see a difference?
I would say yes.
Okay. So then my first question is that piece controllable? And did you bring that slump on more yourself by projecting the feeling you had on the inside, projecting it outward? So is that why the slump was there potentially? Or did that add to it at the very least? You know what I mean? I'm like, meaning if you're in a bad mood and you're on the phone, you like, we could all go to another country right now that don't speak a lick of English. Can you tell if people are sad? Can you tell if they're upset? Can you tell if they're scared? We ain't got to speak one word the same. You can pick up on it. Does that make sense? So you're giving off a vibe that feels like a little ill. You know what I mean? And I think that causes it for most people. Is they, like, I always think, like Broadway shows. I don't really love a lot of them. Any of y'all ever go? Like Broadway type shows, like whatever they're called. I don't know the names of most of them. But I went and saw it. The one I like is the one where they rap. Because I grew up in the hood, Hamilton. That's my jam, dude. They rap. I was like, I said to my wife, I'm like, this story. She's like, you learned it in 4th grade. I'm like, I did not learn that. I was like, if my 4th grade teacher rapped, I'd be way more educated about the history of our country. That was I've seen it 3 times. And every time I watch it, dude, you know, that's one of the biggest ones ever, I think. They perform, I think, like twice a day, 2 or 3 times a day, like every day of the week for however many years straight. You think they got bad days happening in their life? You think they got shit going on? What would happen if you showed up to the show and they projected the negative shit in their life during that show? Would you buy more tickets? Would it be a best hit, bestseller, #1, whatever ever? I mean, like, would it? And I watch these people and I'm like, they are on point. They're on. When they're doing their profession, they're on. Life just gets, athletes do it really well. Jordan's dad gets murdered. He's show up. You hear about people missing pregnancies and babies and people dying and they're on game day. They're there. And I'm not saying y'all got to do that necessarily, but like, think about the level of control they have. I think that's the most important piece, one. And when I get down, I'm like, am I projecting? Am I doing like Hamilton would? Because that fool was on point every time I seen him. And then you read about it. You read about Hamilton? Like, they actually had shit going on with the cast. Some of them hated each other. There was like actual stuff happening. You wouldn't know it at their show, bro. Right? So when I'm doing this, I try to make sure I don't turn off when I need to be on. I can take that from selling to recruiting. I try to always be on. I have to be on now. You don't think I got shit going on in life? You don't think I got stuff upstairs right now going bad? In our business, today. You don't think Amanda got shit to do in her inbox right now? Like, we got stuff, but I have to be on today. So I think that's number one. Number two, what I do is I like to relate it to sports because I understand sports. You a sports guy? Baseball? You understand the concept of baseball, right? Hit a home run, don't strike out, get on base, etc. Dude, they play like, how many games a year? That's a lot. 160 something, whatever that is. You know, these guys bat 300. So they're failing 70% of the time. They're the best in their business. Failing 70% of the time. They're the best in their business. 10 years in a row, Hall of Fame. 10 years in a row, failing 70% of the time with a smile on your face every time you get up to bat. 10 years in a row, you're in the Hall of Fame. What do you think I'm teaching Maddox when he strikes out? You think I'm teaching him how to not strike out in baseball, ever? No, I'm teaching him that's a normal part of the game. Learn how to play the game with what you got. You're going to strike out, bro. Do I want you to strike out every time? No. Is it possible to never strike out? No. Baseball, dude, the best name a player ever. Have they ever, every single game, been on point with their production? Not in the history of the game. Not in the history of the game, dude, has there been an insurance salesperson on point every week. Ever. Right? What happens when a player messes up? You see, like 34 is my favorite number, Bo Jackson. Any of y'all know what he did when he struck out? Right over his knee. Pow! Bust it in half, throw it away. Next play, though, was he mad? Was he in the field ready to go? Next day, what's he do? Is he hitting off a tee or is he sulking? Is he watching video? Tom Brady throwing an interception. Dude, he cussed like a mother. What's the first thing he does when he gets off the field? Watch the tablet. What'd I do wrong? Coach, hey, help me out. I misread the defense. This guy, the shoulder, he did that. Should have saw that. You know what I mean? When baseball, man, they go through streaks, dude. Name your favorite. I don't care who it is. Like when they go 0 for 15, what are they thinking? 3-game stretch, 4-game stretch, no hits.
Let me get on the next one.
Are they going to swing more often or less often?
They're bringing a mindset coach.
Some they do. Professionals do. Fucking people pay me for this shit. Does that make sense? I pay people for this shit. That is a piece of it. That's major league people do that. They have more than just a mindset coach even. But they understand, dude, the law of large numbers. And that's the piece I think most of y'all misunderstand. The law of large numbers is what gives you averages. Where most people look at Tuesday and they go, my average was bad. I'm like, what the hell does Tuesday have to do with anything? I got beat up today. Anybody say that out loud? About getting beat? You know better. You definitely know better not to. I got tore up on the phones today. I got beat up in the field today. Let an agent say that to me. I'm like, bro, you ever been in a fight? Because if you got beat up where I used to get beat up, you wouldn't look as good as you look right now. So it's like, careful the words that come out of your mouth when you go through a slump. But like, why do we expect to not have a slump? I think that's pretty weird too. So for me, you know what I think when I'm in a slump? What do you think? Huh?
Get it next time.
You said, can you move as fast when you're going through something, and can you act like you already know it was coming?
When I go through a slump, need something good coming, bro.
Exactly.
I go 0 for 15. You don't think the player's bound to go like 10 for 12 soon?
Something big.
But now what's the mistake there? Get too happy. Get too cocky. Stop paying attention to details. Right? Law of large numbers says, I know if I go out there every day and I work on my craft and I continue to get better and I continue to swing at pitches and I continue to do what I'm doing at a high level, I'm probably at the end of 162 games and 400 at-bats, I'm probably going to hit around 300. Is it going to be 298 or 307? Does it matter? Dudes in the major leagues hitting 300. Now, if you're 0 for 400, we got a different problem. But you're talking slump, which implies you had a up. So if a slump implies you had a up and you have a down, a slump also means by definition you're bound to come back up. So I just know that the down means I'm getting close to the upside and I got to protect myself from not being too confident on the upside. And so I've learned to go, activity equals money for me. Activity equals money. The sale don't equal money. The check didn't equal money. The reps equal money. You just might not get the money today from the reps today. Does that make sense? I'm making money from reps I did months and years ago. The amount of reps I'm doing now to build this brand we're building, I travel like a mother on my dime and I didn't know how to monetize this thing outside of override. Just straight up, I had no idea how to do it. I'm like, if I keep speaking and I keep getting people paid all over the country, and it's expensive to fly. I bring my team with me too. 3 of us, 3 flights, 3 hotels, car rental, all those like dinners. We 15 G's every time we go on a trip, at least. Fair, man? 15, probably 15, 20 G's. Yeah. Me go speak at Cody's event. Me go speak at any. I'm dropping money. And y'all spent money to come here. How many events I did last year? Whatever that Delta, I got that. I got like a special number I can call in where it's like, you be on hold 47 minutes, we'll call it. No, mine they pick up when I call. Because I knew with time it will pay me dividends. Reps equals money to me. And I got money, but the money I got now is from the reps before. I'm like, yo, y'all think I got money now. Wait 5 years. Right? So to me, dude, slump is not that big a deal. I am going to do my best to pay attention, to try to get better. But I found that those things that I just talked about are the biggest reason that people stay in the slump. And they aren't intentional, they aren't controlling their emotions along the way. And the reality of what it is gets way out of whack. And then we let the noise of other people come into play. We let our spouse and our brother and our sister and our cousin and our dad. I'm like, you know, if you didn't tell them, they wouldn't have feedback on it. You know, if when you had a bad day and you get home and the wife's like, how's your day? I'm like, good day. What's up? How was your day? And then when I get up in the morning, I'm like, today's going to be a good day. Why would I not say that? You know what I mean? And so sometimes we bring on our own noise, man. So I'm trying to be super intentional about how much of this is caused by me versus how much is a natural evolution of sales. And how do I get out of it? Dude, I go see more people as fast as possible so I can get on the other side of the slump. And most people slow down. You ain't having a good day on the phones, you slow down on dials. I find that weird as shit. You're dragging out the bad. You're having a bad sales when you see less people. Like, what sense does that make? I did it. So I can be like, I wish I could go back in time and slap the shit out of myself. You know, go ahead, dude.
One thing I'm taking from this is that a lot of times, we or myself, I've done stuff just enough to hate it. So like if I just,
What do you mean by that?
So like if I put in a massive level of effort into something,
Sure.
then I'm gonna do it enough to get through the part where I hate it.
Yeah, I got you. Yep.
If I do below that, I'm gonna do just enough to hate it. And
Yeah.
Like taken from this, I see it in a lot of agents that I hire and train too, where they do just enough to hate it. And it's like, if you just did more, you wouldn't hate it because you get the, you get
Correct. You get the reward side of it. And that's, so I mess with people, dude. And I go, right, because people get frustrated. Fair, about the no's and the negatives. So let me, who's frustrated about negatives right now? Give me some, like who's actually, you've not made money. I'm gonna go with dude back there first. Remind me your name again, bro? Wilson, thank you. You get frustrated when people tell you no or F off or I didn't fill it out or cancel policies, things like that. You in that phase?
Yeah, I do, only because I don't know how to rebuttal that
Yeah.
without being rude.
Yep. Yep. Let me ask you this. If I paid you 400 grand a year, cash out of my pocket, every Friday payday, whatever the math is, 4 G's or 5 G's, whatever the number is, 8 G's a week, whatever it is. I paid you cash every week. I don't care if you sell something or not. Are you mad when they tell you no now?
No. But do I have to rebut?
You don't have to do nothing. I pay you 400 grand a year. I don't care what they say. Yes, no, indifferent. I don't care what they say. Are you mad? Nah. Skipping down the road, bro. Cashing John's check, right? So the reason I ask that is it fair to say then that you can control the emotion?
Yes. Yeah.
But you're only willing to control it if I pay you first.
Well, in a way, only because I don't have to worry about the results.
I understand. But what I'm telling you is you don't have to worry about the results now. If you put in the effort, bro, it pays.
So basically just next.
Yes. But while next, work on getting better. Learn from it. I ain't mad like when Mattis gets upset, I have to watch myself because I get frustrated when he's upset about a result. So I have to be really careful because I want him upset. I want him pissed off he struck out. I want him pissed when he misses his golf shot. I want him pissed when he walks a guy. What I hate though is when he carries it to the next play. I'm like, bro, I know you didn't want to walk the guy, but the next play you're walking up to with your head down, bro. Like I need you confidence. Back at it like you struck him out. So the next time it happens, I need you to get back at it like you sold the last one. Like I paid you. Because in that case, you can control your emotion. Am I saying it's easy? No, I didn't say that, bro. It's hard as shit. You ever see them cartoons where they got the two on the shoulder? Mm-hmm. You are both of those. Mm-hmm. At all times. And that asshole over here, he's loud as shit, dude. Mm-hmm. He talks a lot. He jabs. He's like them basketball players talking smack. I was watching some stuff on Dennis Rodman the other day. Any of y'all remember him? Mm-hmm. Dude, he'd get on the court and mess with people. Mm-hmm. Mentally, psychologically, fuck with them bad. He couldn't score to save his life. And considered one of the best players ever in the history of the game. And I'm like, he'd get people here. What changed for me was I realized I was getting myself there. I'm like, yo, if I lose to you, props. I lose to myself? That sounds really dumb to me. So I have to every day work on when I'm yapping in my own ear about some nonsense, which I do every day of the week. Every day of the week, something negative comes into my head. Every day of the week, I think maybe I'm doing too much. Maybe this is out of my league. Maybe I can't run that far. Maybe I can't hike that far. Maybe I'm not meant to build this the way I'm thinking. Every day, dude. And this one over here has to be like, yo, don't be a bitch. Shut the fuck up. That's how I talk to me. Y'all do you. I found what works for me. I yell at myself to stop letting it drag on. In the moment, mad. Got it. How quick can we move on? That's the game. That make sense? Cool.
If you're in the insurance space and trying to build an agency, or you're trying to like break records in sales, just hit new levels, new heights, click the link below to apply to my consulting and coaching program that I have out there. I'm helping tons of people get to new levels, get to new income heights, help them build their teams, put systems in place, staffing stuff, recruiting processes, automations, and just teaching people how to get to a point where they're selling on their own pen, 30, 40, 50 grand a month. And if they're building a team, teaching how to have an effective structure to your insurance agency for the most profitability you can. There is an application process. I'm only looking to work with like high-end people who really want to make big things happen. A couple recent clients that we've had in the coaching program. One dude as an individual went from selling like 8 grand a month, barely getting by, about to quit the industry, found the book, hit me up direct, started a coaching program, went to 35K his first month, has issued like 150K in the last 90 days, and has changed the trajectory of his career. Working with another agency builder, very first month went from doing like 800 grand a month to almost 1.1 million. We added like 10 or 15% production in 30 days and continue to work on things there. So if you're interested, click the link, apply, and if you're a fit, I'll reach out.
After all of the success that you've had, in accomplishing the goals that you set for yourself, and doing what you did for your family and all those things, and then ultimately selling, where does the hunger come from with you? How do you keep the appetite for what you do?
I have a hard time answering that one a lot. I don't understand once you figure it out how the hunger goes away. I'm afraid more than anything to go backwards. The thought of going anywhere near where I was once is scary as shit to me. I work not only in my career as hard as I do because of fear, but that's why I take care of my health as much as I do. I'm scared shit to live like an unhealthy person. I'm healthy and I got unhealthy stuff going on. I can't imagine how bad it would be if I let go. So the fear is what keeps me moving a lot. And I'm doing well enough that I would never go back to exactly where I was. But there's a lot of people around me that if I don't keep doing what I'm doing, they're going to stay where they're at. You know what I mean? And I love being a provider. And like if I quit, that means Amanda has to go find a job. Reese got to work somewhere, and they'll survive. But I'm like, I don't want that, dude. I want more people around me to succeed. I gotta have an army of fucking people coming with me. I don't think I've done anything that impressive, dude. And that's not like being fake humble. Dude, I'm a freaking rounding error to multiple people in this business. The business would operate, if I quit tomorrow, nothing would slow down in the industry. I'm not confused by that. But I also am not confused by the impact I can have by doing what I do. And I love everywhere I go, bro. Every day I wake up, every time I open my DMs, I get a message from someone thanking me. Every day of my life. I ain't giving that up. I just ain't giving it up, dude. So for me, it's not even, I don't even have to sit down and think. It's just life to me, dude. I just go. You know, and I enjoy my life. But like, to want more, come upstairs one day, hang out with us. I'll talk about some of the stuff. I got pages of goals and things we want to accomplish and what we're doing next. And we sit down here on this whiteboard and map shit out for days sometimes. I love the process of figuring stuff out. I love the process of building anything. I love the process of mess it up, identify why we got to that problem, avoid that problem next time. And how do I monetize it? I love that. This time flying to me. I could do this. I could not move from the seat for a week straight. I'd be fired up doing this. I just love what I do. You know, go hobbies. Now this is one. I know I'm good at this piece, dude, but I'm good at this piece. You know how many times I've done this? Like, so we go first event. You know how many times I've done this?
Thousands.
Every Monday and Thursday since 2015. I've sat in a seat like this with people right there. I did it for 8 straight years, 2 days a week. This is my comfort zone. I didn't prep shit. They made this book. I didn't do that. I have nothing planned. I walked in, Amanda said, he ain't gonna use the book today. I don't need a book to do what I do. The book fucks me up. It is. I don't need, I do this for a living. I could get on stage and talk for 8 hours. This is what I do. You know what I mean?
It's kind of just like that picture, Michael Jordan, when you think about it, and what you were just talking about before, about the reps. And it, no matter, they always talk about him scoring and how well he played and all of the things about his losses.
Yeah.
How many shots he missed.
Yeah.
There was never a time where even if there was such a thing of him going into a slump,
Yeah.
that he didn't want the ball.
Yeah.
He had that
Agreed.
much confidence in his play. And he always won.
You want to know what's something funny that there's people in this room that have sold more insurance than me. By a lot, I bet. Who sold cumulatively in their career, anybody more than $1 million cumulatively over their career? How much are you selling? How long have you been doing this?
Well, I've been selling 11 years, but here.
Cumulatively $1 million. All added up, you're past $1 million.
Yeah, way past.
Way past $1 million. What's your total? Roughly. Ballpark. 3 million? 4 million?
4 or 5.
10 or no?
Could be that much.
Okay. You said you?
Yeah,
How much you sold?
Probably 5 altogether.
Okay. How much you?
Probably 3 or 4.
2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017. I sold 460K here. I sold 360K here. I sold 30 grand here. I sold 170K here. I sold 110K here. Probably sold 40K here. 1.1, 1.2 million career sales.
Teach it from the front of the room. Brother, beast.
Window like this, dude. I went after it. I learned how to do it very intentionally, and I started teaching it. Like I don't need to be the best insurance sales guy to lead the most people to a bunch of money. I don't have to have sold the most. That's irrelevant to me. I'm proud. When I went full-time here, I went full-time 2014. Anybody been at my company a long time? I know you know them. Anybody like know Sean? Like, I was with the company early. And like, when you work with some people, they're like, you sell, that's what you do for a living. And this company had no people in it when I started. And so there was never a conversation about getting out of the field. That was like, you don't get out of the field. Right? Like that's just wasn't open. I was like, yo, I don't want to do this. I'm proud as shit. Of all the people that have been doing this a lot longer than me, I was out of the field in 3 years. At FFL, I was second one. Mike Killiman got out first, I got out a month later. Second person at FFL that started, that did something big, that was like, I can get out of the field because I got the money. I was second person at FFL to do that. And I was the freshest, the newest, I like that. Like, I ain't be the guy that sold $5 million. I don't give a shit if I sold $5 million. They were like, hit Hall of Fame. It'll change. I'm like, cool, do it once, let's go. Hall of Fame, boom, everything changed. I started working it. Saw another angle, how to build bigger, how to teach this thing. I'm like, I'll teach that. Talk about an indexed IUL. I don't know shit about it. How does insurance work? I don't know. How they price? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't care. I don't know. I don't care. I don't give a shit. And that works for me. You know, $1 million, dude. That's it. And I get a lot of credit for selling. I have a lot of trophies for selling. But I did not want to be an insurance sales guy forever. You know, so I did it. I did it well. I did it at a high level. I started teaching it. I started teaching aggressively, started teaching at a high level. And I taught so many people in such a short window of time. I got really fucking good at it. And I had to be good because I had so many people coming. I had to learn how to be effective and efficient with my time. That's where analogies and stories came in. That's where it's like, stop the shit, story, analogy, diapers, this one, that one, drive it, this one. It sped up the message, you know? And I don't know. It's like, you can, go ahead, dude.
I just want to thank you for what you've done for me already. And like, I know 5 guys off the top of my head that started on the same time I did that you helped create millionaires.
Yeah.
So like, you're doing awesome.
My man.
Cool.
I appreciate it, bro.
I know you talked about the reports and you're really good at.
Talked about the what?
You talked about the reports you did.
Oh, yeah.
You're really good at doing that. Like, what numbers did you focus on? IP? Did you focus on AP? Submitted?
For a team?
Persistency?
For a team? Yeah, we'll dive into this. Yeah, I'll answer it brief now, but we'll dive into it a lot more tomorrow. Remember, help people get paid. So when I talk to people and I'm like, how many agents you have? Do you know what their normal answer is? It's the number that they've contracted ever or talked to ever. When I say how many agents you got, they go 4,327. And I'm like, how many got paid? Oh, I mean like a handful. That's the equivalent of going submit. Like, I don't care what you got submitted. Like, what'd you get paid, dude? And so for me, it's how many people did I help get paid? That's all that I cared about. How many writers? To me, that implies paid. Right? So I looked at how many people I got paid and what the average paid per agent per month was. And if I look at somebody's team and I'm like, the average is 2, 3, 4 grand, I'm like, all right, we can improve. Someone somewhere sucks at teaching this. Who is it? You know what I mean? And my deal was like, I wanted to create Hall of Fame producers. I wanted to create, and I was okay with the others, but I wanted my average producer, I was like a 12K a month kind of guy. If that's the average per writer, there's some people making jack, and there's always going to be dummies at the bottom. But if I could get my average up over 10 grand a writer, we were doing some things. You know, so every time I talk to somebody's team, I'm like, I go volume of writers. I can do the math about in my head. Like you 2, 3, 4 grand a writer, you can double just by learning how to get that to 8. That's not that deep. How? Most of them just got to run more appointments. You know what I mean? So for me, it was average premium paid per month per writer, and I would play with that a lot. There's a lot of things I do to move volume, but that's yeah. But
You're the first person I heard say maybe someone sucks at teaching. Because I've always heard that, you know, every agent has to take accountability for themselves.
Agreed.
And it's never the upline.
Yeah, I think it's both. But for me, as someone that's teaching it, I am going to see the things you do incorrect, but I'm going to look at it in a way where did I go wrong that allowed you to believe that doing it that way was the right way? You know what I'm saying? And I don't believe that people get their insurance license and get contracted and get in the business to not make money. I'll never believe that. Does that make sense? So I'm like, why are you not making money? I do believe you're probably doing something wrong, but I also believe people around you aren't willing to tell you the truth. And I'm just not going to be that guy. Does that make sense? Like I'm going to go, how do I fix? How do I add my part? Now you might not listen to me, but if I give you the stuff and you don't listen, I'm out. It's like the young 22-year-old in home, I'm out. 3 minutes, I'm done. I'll swoop in, you don't listen, I'm out. You know what I mean? But teaching this thing is really simple at its core. So I think there's a balance of there's a bunch of people who don't know what to do, But I also believe there's a reason they don't know what to do. And I believe I can influence that. For sure, I've done it. You know? So it's like, if I take my incorrect off the table, now it's just on you, and all you gotta do is follow. Like, you ain't gonna do nothing but follow. You can close your ears, about close your eyes, and follow my voice, and I'm gonna lead you to a good spot, bro. But most people want to put their own input into it along the way, and that messes them up. Does that make sense? Some of y'all are coming tonight. Who's coming tonight? How many are in? I saw the front. They did that smart. Yeah, that just clicked right now. She told me she did that. I think y'all got stickers on your things or something. So we have the y'all got the executive tag too. They did it good. Amanda's gonna text y'all my address because we didn't send it to everybody. And those of y'all that have regular tickets, I'm sorry you can't come. If you want to upgrade, you can. You can go see Amanda. You can pay a little bit more, and you can come hang out with the people making money, or crazy enough to want to learn how to make more money. We're just gonna hang out at my house. We're gonna feed you guys. My wife took care of dinner. Like, she bought some stuff, made some stuff. We're gonna hang out for a few hours, and do more of this, more Q&A. We're gonna eat. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna do our best to learn from each other, teach from each other. If anybody's like, I should have went in, but I was kind of a wuss and I limped in, and I know I can get some more value, you can come, but you got to pay. Just get with Amanda. If she gives you a ticket and says it's okay, you can come. For those that are coming, we're gonna meet at my house at like 6. I'm gonna hang out here, wrap up, meet with the team. So just don't go before 6, just because my wife's there and she's getting ready, and so just meet there at 6 o'clock. And if you need anything else in the meantime, I'll be hanging out here for a little bit. For those that aren't coming, what time tomorrow? 9 a.m. Open at 8 a.m. tomorrow. We're starting at 9 right away. And say again, Amanda? Open at 8:30? 8:30, the doors open. The doors are open when Amanda says so. But we're going to start right at 9 tomorrow. Appreciate you guys. If I can help while I'm here, let me know.
Hi guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did not attend the previous one, the next event I'm having is early June. If you want to make it to that one, you can use the coupon code YouTube for 15% off. If this happens to be after June when you watch it, johnwetmore.com/workshop. You can always register for the next one. See you guys there.